3 a.m. What are you doing? Maybe you're fast asleep. But somewhere, in the corner of a cramped rented kitchen, a Vietnamese mother is quietly waking up to cook sticky rice, hoping to sell it at the market by dawn. She moves as softly as possible, terrified of waking her sleeping child. She is afraid of the noise. She is afraid of being loud. But somewhere else, in a penthouse overlooking the city lights, a man is also awake. He isn't cooking sticky rice. He's staring at a computer screen. An automated transfer has just been executed. His net worth just increased by $50,000 while he sips a glass of wine. He, too, is silent. Both are silent, but the mother's silence is one of resignation, a fear that poverty will wake her child. The man's silence is one of pride, of power. Why is it that in the same silence, fates can be so different? Why do we, the poor, have to scream inside just to earn every dollar, while the rich let money whisper into their pockets every night? Today, I'm going to tell you about the most terrifying silence in the world, the silence of money flowing upstream. We, the children living far from our homeland, often carry a strange obsession. We are terrified of being looked down upon. We are terrified of being seen as poor. So what do? We get loud. We buy designer bags on credit cards with 12-month installment plans. We lease luxury cars just to drive to weddings, even when we barely have enough gas money in our pockets. We check in at fancy restaurants for the photos, but go home to eat instant noodles day after day. We are acting the role of the rich for an audience. But who is our audience? Is it the relatives back home waiting for gifts? Is it old friends on Facebook judging us? Or is it simply our own insecurity? In America, there's a saying, money talks, wealth whispers. The truly wealthy, they don't need to prove anything. They wear gray t-shirts and old sneakers. They disappear from social media. They become invisible, because they understand a truth that the poor are never taught. Attention is a tax. When you show off, you invite envy, you invite borrowers, and worst of all, you invite a false sense of satisfaction that stops you from striving. Let me tell you about Uncle Hung. Uncle Hung is a mechanic in California. His hands are always stained with grease. His clothes always smell of gasoline. Looking at him, you'd think he's a struggling laborer living paycheck to paycheck. Neighbors often pity him, saying, "Poor guy, been in America for years and still struggling." But no one knows that every time he wipes his hands on that dirty rag, Uncle Hung smiles. Because beneath that grease lies an underground empire. He owns 3 laundromats running 24/7. He has shares in 2 nail salons. And most importantly, he has a stock portfolio accumulated over 20 years, filled with boring tickers like utilities, water, and waste management. Do you see? Uncle Hung's wealth doesn't lie in shiny things. It lies in boring things. The poor love the flashy, crypto, lottery tickets, the adrenaline of day trading. The rich love the boring. Cash flow from washing clothes, cash flow from others doing manicures, cash flow from people turning on lights and flushing toilets. Those things never stop, even in a recession. The rich don't seek excitement in investing. They seek safety so they can find excitement in life. The poor seek excitement in investing, like gambling, only to receive anxiety in life. So, what is the technical secret here? Why can they do it, but we can't? First, they understand taxes in a completely different way. The poor view taxes as a mandatory duty, a painful cut of their flesh. Salary comes in, taxes go out, spend what's left, the end. The rich view taxes as a chess game. Do you know why billionaires like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos have years where they pay less tax than a secretary? It's not tax evasion. It's legal tax avoidance. They don't take high salaries. They take stock. And they don't sell the stock to spend money because selling triggers taxes. What do? They use their stock as collateral to borrow money from the bank to live on. Borrowed money is not income, so it is not taxed. It's the game of buy, borrow, die. Buy assets, borrow against them to live, and die to pass them on tax-free to the next generation. Of course, we aren't billionaires, but the principle is the same. The poor work for earned income, the highest taxed income. The rich work for assets, the lowest taxed or zero taxed income. Which side of the board are you on? Second, they are masters of buying back time. Asian culture often prides itself on hard work. If you open a noodle shop, you cook, serve, and wash dishes yourself to save money on hiring help. If you own a nail salon, the owner sits and files nails more than the employees. We are proud of our busyness, but that diligence is killing your chance to be wealthy. When you wash dishes, your value is that of a dishwasher. When you file nails, your value is that of a technician. You cannot get rich if your hands are busy 24/7. The silent rich, they accept losses in the beginning to build systems. They hire people, they use software, they accept the risk of employees making mistakes for what? To free themselves, to free their minds to think about strategy, to think about opening the second or third location. Calculated laziness sometimes generates more money than blind diligence. But the price of silent wealth is not cheap. Sometimes it demands a brutal emotional sacrifice. Do you dare to refuse lending money to a cousin for a car, even if you have plenty, because you know that money is needed for investment? Do you dare to wear an old shirt when visiting your hometown, hearing people whisper, "He went to America but looks so broke," just to stick to your financial plan? This path is lonely, my friend. When you start living differently, you will lose friends. Drinking buddies will leave because you don't party anymore. Relatives might get angry because you are no longer a walking ATM. You will be called stingy, heartless, or someone who forgot their roots. You will face long, sleepless nights alone, asking yourself, am I doing the right thing, or should I just give up and live like everyone else for the moment? Silent wealth requires immense inner strength. It requires you to love your future and your children's future more than you love your own vanity in the present. But the reward is incredibly sweet. It's not the supercar, it's not the mansion. The reward is freedom. It's the feeling of waking up on a Monday morning without an alarm clock, without fear of a boss calling, without deadline anxiety. It's the feeling of watching your child choose a university based on their passion, not based on whether the tuition is cheap or expensive. It's the feeling that when your parents are old and weak, you can fly back immediately, buying business class tickets to bring them to the best hospitals without even looking at the price tag. That is the true power of money, the power of silence. When your money is loud enough, you don't need to speak. You don't need to prove. You just need to live. So, today, after listening to this, what will you do? Will you continue to buy that $5 coffee unconsciously? Or will you use that $5 to buy a fractional share of stock? Will you continue to scroll through Facebook watching others show off? Or will you turn off your phone and sit down and draw up the plan for your own underground empire? Don't let your life pass by as meaningless noise. Turn it into a silent but majestic symphony. Let your success speak for itself at the moment no one expects it. If you feel lonely on this path, remember, the wealthiest people, they are silent, just like you. We are not alone. We are just in a very quiet club. Share your story in the comments. Have you ever had to pretend to be poor just to have some peace? Or have you ever regretted showing off? We want to hear it so we can learn and grow together. And don't forget to subscribe so we can meet again in the next untold story. Goodbye. May you find peace and prosperity from deep within.